Well, it's great to have you here. We're excited to be hosting this regional here at Stillwater at Upgrade Stadium, and it looks like a really good tournament in terms of the teams that are in it, and it looks like should be some great baseball on display starting tomorrow at 12. So we're excited about it, and I know this time of year everybody that's still alive playing is excited about the opportunities in front of them. So fire away.
Hey, Coach, Bob Holton here. It's Dennis Craig. I was wanted to ask about Marcus, kind of his impact on the program, what kind of player's been for you, and then maybe, Marcus, if you could talk about what it's been like playing over here for you, how the season's going for you.
Well, Marcus is a great kid. He's a hard worker. He's very committed to his team, but he's also very committed to doing the right things as an individual, both on and off the field. So he's a great role model, and he's a great teammate. And he's been a very good influence on a lot of the younger players in the program, and he's obviously played very well in the field. So Marcus is a very fine all-around person.
Playing over here is a blessing. Playing in this beautiful stadium given to us by Cecil O'Bray. Just playing for a great coaching staff over here with Coach Holliday, Matt Holliday, Robert Ventura, Rob Walton. Got a lot of really sound coaches. But just playing a really good schedule and just having a great group of guys surrounding you every day. It's been a true blessing to play over here.
How fun has the season been for you guys? Obviously, had a great year, your #1 seed host. And what's the season been like for you?
Just like any other season, there's ups and downs, but there's a great surrounding group of guys. I think that we've formed a brotherhood, and we really enjoy being around each other, and we've been playing some good ball. So it's been a lot of fun this year.
Josh, you talked about the stadium. What's it mean to have a host, and what do you think it'll mean this weekend here at Upgrade?
Well, it's nice to be home. It's nice to have the benefit of preparing for this regional all week long here at home, and taking the travel day out of the week has given us a chance to get our feet back on the ground after, 5 games we played in the Big 12 tournament, 5 games in 4 days, and we were on the road there for about a week. We were on the road at Baylor before that, so the kids spent a long time on the road and had been putting in a lot of hard work in terms of competing on the road. So get home, get a couple lifts under our belt, get some good night's sleep, some good practices, and those are pretty valuable pieces of the equation this time of year.
Victor Behame's he's starting tomorrow.
He is.
That decision, how to work the rotation.
No, Victor's been throwing the ball really well, and obviously it's a tournament, and game one's critical, and he's in a good spot to throw game one. He threw game one last week. He threw game one the week before, and he's been setting a good tone for our ball club with the way he's been competing and throwing the ball, and we feel like he has a chance to go up and match up well tomorrow and give us a great chance to win. And you got to win multiple games to win a tournament, and we feel good about the matchup in game one with Victor and Justin in game two.
Victor, what does it mean to get this start, and considering everything you've gone through the last year, injuries, transferring, to be here where you are?
It's great. It's a blessing. I'm excited for the kind of regionals to start, but it's just we got to keep going forward. We got to keep competing, and it's just part of the program. We just got to all buy in, and like Josh always says, just at this time of year, you're just competing for more time with your boys, and to keep going. So.
Injuries are not good, but did that benefit you in kind of resetting a little bit and kind of figuring some things out, maybe?
Yeah, I definitely think it kind of just slowed everything down for me and just kind of gave me just the right mind. All I got to do is just go out there and hit my spots, and everything. Defense will definitely work behind me, and it's just about competing. Just go out there and compete, and I feel just everything just slowed down for me, and everything's been good so far.
Hey, Victor, you have Marcus house. That's what I'm asking about Marcus. But what's your take on him as a teammate and as a ball player? Behind you.
No, he's great. He's the first one here. I always kind of joke around with him because he gets to the ballpark at 11 o'clock when we have practice at 2 or whatever, and he's the hardest working kid for sure I've seen in a while, and he takes everything very personal when it comes to baseball, and he loves the game more than anybody I know. I think he's definitely in the right state of mind, and like Josh says, he's a role model to the team, so we kind of just all lead behind him, and he's a good leader.
Josh, what is different about Missouri State now than when you played them earlier in the year? Is there any big differences?
Well, I think probably the biggest difference, they just won their tournament, put together some really clutch, important baseball to extend their season, so I think they probably feel real good about themselves. You know, Coach Gutton's he's an amazing coach and a neat man. I have tremendous respect for him. I think what he's done in college baseball is nothing short of fantastic when you look at that program and all the years he's put in, the great players they've had. So tremendous respect for him and his team. They always compete fiercely. They're always big and strong. We've seen them now once or twice a year for the last 10 years. So it's a heck of a good baseball program. And this particular team looks like they've probably found their confidence and found their stride late in the year. I mean, they're a good team.
Coach Holliday, sorry, go ahead.
Coach, you see Arkansas and Georgia State quite a bit. I think you and Coach Stankiewicz coached together at Arizona State. Does this feel different, just all the familiarity between you and the programs?
Yeah, there is a lot of familiarity. That's very accurate. Grand Canyon played here 3 times last year, plus we played him in the regional last year. So we've seen some of these young men on their team. I know Andy personally from 2 years of working with him. He's an awesome person, one of the greatest partners I've ever had in coaching as far as working alongside somebody and them being a great influence on you. He was a great influence on me. He was an awesome baseball person, but an even more enjoyable human being. So I very much enjoyed 2 years with him and really happy for him and all the success Grand Canyon baseball's had since he's been there. He transitioned them from Division II to Division I, and now they're one of the better teams on the West Coast. So he's a neat man, a good friend. We are familiar with Missouri State, having played him, and obviously Arkansas from a proximity standpoint. We know quite a bit about them. We haven't played them in a couple of years, but we do know a fair amount about them, and I've known Coach Van Horn forever. So yeah, we do have a little bit of common backgrounds that you can touch on, but those are kind of more from the adult side. I think the games are still just right between the white lines. This collection of athletes for each squad going head to head and just competing. You know, the games are about the players, but I do think the program familiarity is kind of the flavor of regionals. There's a little bit of a regionalized setting from Missouri State, Arkansas, and Oklahoma State's perspective.
For Arkansas, if you look at polls throughout the season, there were a lot of weeks where they were 3 or 4, vice versa. Was it a little surprising to see them as the 2 seed coming in?
I don't know. I think there's different ways in which I guess teams are viewed ultimately at the end of the year, different statistical ways that maybe those pairings are set. They have a heck of a good ball club. I know that. As you mentioned, they've played premier baseball now for a long stretch of this season and obviously all of last season. They have a very, very good team, and they're battle tested, much like we are, having played a tough schedule. So they're a good ball club. There's nothing about this season I'm sure they don't feel like has prepared them for this time of year. So I think all of us probably would tell you that having gotten to this point in the year, you've been challenged and you're ready for whatever comes your way.
You started down the stretch, or else they can be home probably. Do you see them as kind of a dangerous team just because of the talent, and they were playing real well earlier in the year?
Everybody's dangerous. I don't see there being one team that isn't. Yeah, everyone's dangerous.
Coach Holliday, being a Go ahead, go
No,
ahead.
you've been waiting.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. I talked to Todd, the field superintendent, yesterday, and he talked about just kind of all the work that goes into getting the stadium ready going back to October. What are your thoughts on just the work, whether it's the grounds crew or the construction people going back to when the stadium was built? What are your thoughts on just kind of all the work that's led up to this moment?
Oh, a lot of people put in countless hours to make this possible, just in the current. You mentioned the staff at Oklahoma State and the grounds crew. Those guys are amazing in the job they do. We have a beautiful surface, and we got great staff here at Oklahoma State that wants to put on a first-class tournament. And when you think about the process of building this stadium, that is a multiple-year deal. Many people and multiple different companies work together to make this happen. So yeah, there's a ton of people that will probably be watching this closely, very proud of their contribution to it.
Marcus, as a spring kid, just having Arkansas in this regional, does this mean a little bit more to you? And do you know anybody on their roster?
Yeah, I have some friends over there. Played summer ball with a lot of those guys. But yeah, I mean, it means a lot to have a lot of friends and family coming over. But yeah, I got a lot of respect for those guys. I mean, they play really good baseball over there, and I know the coaches, and they're great people, and it's just good to welcome them to Stillwater and just ready for a fun weekend.
Did the Razorbacks try to recruit you at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, being a hometown kid, when I decommitted from Kentucky, I had an opportunity to go play baseball there, and I really liked it over here though. And this place caught my eye, and this coaching staff's phenomenal, and I really fell in love with Stillwater.
Yeah, I know you want to win and play whoever, but would it mean something extra to you to play Arkansas if you guys got matched up?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to play whoever's in front of you. You know, Missouri State's a really good team, and you know, all eyes on them first. But yeah, I mean, an opportunity to play Arkansas would be very, very special.
You mentioned you know a lot of the guys that are 2 or 3 that you know pretty well, or friends in particular.
Yeah, so Jackson Wiggins and Caden Wallace. Caden Wallace is my best friend. Known him for a really, really long time. But man, those great kids, hard workers, outstanding families. So really, really looking forward to getting to talk to them this weekend and watching them play ball.
Coach Holliday, you touched on being the host here. I'm sure when you guys built this, hosting regionals and super regionals was part of the, you know, the plan as a whole. Just to see that come to fruition, and maybe what are your thoughts about getting to have this stadium as a showcase this weekend?
Well, you know, our goals try to be great, was try to build something special that is long, sustainable and try to be the best at something. And this facility was something we thought needed to happen at some point. We hosted regionals at the old facility, and it held up just fine, but it obviously didn't have some of the luxuries and some of the perks that this facility has. So it's great to host a tournament of this importance for the athletes playing, that has great drainage and has great fan amenities, and obviously a great chance to treat you guys as the press in first-class fashion. You know, some of those things we didn't have at the other place, but this is about the teams and the hard work that the athletes put in to play well on the field, because there's a lot of beautiful facilities in college baseball that aren't hosting regionals this weekend. So the team earned it. We're really excited that we get to host it here, because we want to bring our fans great baseball, and we think there's a value to being at home. When you can play well enough to stay in your home ballpark, that means you had a tremendous season. So hopefully all of those things combined, it will be a chance for everyone involved to celebrate that. But this still comes down to how you play on the field. And but I do think probably this is the best position we've ever been in to accommodate valuable NCAA tournament baseball. We're lucky to have what we have here at this facility.
Coach Holliday, what is your message to your team when they hit the dugout tomorrow before they take the field against the Bears?
Well, the thing that this season has been so good for us in regards to what it's prepared us for is basically everything. We've traveled a lot. We've played a lot of really good baseball teams. Our conference has been tough. We've seen a lot of good different styles of play. So my message is you're prepared for this. You've put the time in. You've put the work in. Now you go out there and believe in yourself and trust that the work that you've put in will serve you in the moments when you need it most. And to play fiercely and to play with joy and confidence and you know, that there's just a freedom that if you can allow yourself to see the game in that lens, that lets you play your very, very best. And that's all I've ever asked these guys to do, is focus on being excellent. And we've talked all year long about a faceless opponent. The game is the biggest challenge we face, and how we manage ourselves is the greatest challenge each day. Who you play is secondary if you're playing your best. If it's about who you play, then you probably haven't been trained real well, and you probably are being programmed to think incorrectly. So we're going to focus on playing our best the way we've trained all year long, and we know that the other teams will probably do the same. It should be great baseball. That'll be my message, which it has been since day one.
Marcus and Victor, I mean, what's it kind of like from a player standpoint to be part of the first team that hosted the regional here at Holliday?
You know, it's my first year here. You know, I got kind of very welcome to the program very fast. I mean, everything has been kind of fast for me, but I mean, just the culture here, you could tell it's different. You know, I said this in the beginning of the season. I said this team was very special, and you know, being the first team here to host it at O'Brate, I mean, that by itself is special. But you know, I think we got bond that not many teams have, and I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
Justin's he's just a very focused, consistent, hardworking person that has really good skill set, but also an ability to get along and relate so well to not just the players but everyone on staff. And you know, coaching staffs are a lot like teams. Everyone has to do their part and work together, support each other. If the adults aren't functional, how could you ever expect the players to be? And he brings a functional component of knowing how to work well with others, and a quiet confidence that I really like in adults, and a willingness to do whatever it takes on behalf of the players. So he's got a servant mentality when it comes to what coaching's all about, and that is our players and giving them the best chance to be successful. And he's also got a high likability factor, which I think is important. You guys are all part of groups and teams and staffs of people. You know how much more enjoyable it is when the adults can get along. It makes for a much better atmosphere across the board. So I just think there's just good unity and good teammateship about him that probably made him a good player back when he played. And probably one of the great ingredients makes him a good coach now.
Marcus, would you mind answering the question?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it means a lot to host here at O'Brate. I mean, you have some really loyal fans, just an awesome environment here in Stillwater, and, you know, to bring good baseball to them, you know, it means a lot to welcome over the Hogs and, you know, the Lopes and the Bears. You know, it means a lot to just bring in teams from all across the country and really showcase our beautiful stadium to the world. But yeah, just an awesome group of guys that, you know, I really think that, you know, we earned, you know, the right to host this tournament, and, you know, just can't wait to get started.
Is there anything specific about this team that stands out as opposed to others you've coached in the past?
I love the way these guys have come back every single time they've been challenged with a good response. They've shown an ability as a team and at the individual level to take on challenges and make the necessary adjustments when things don't go our way, and come back the next day with just as much effort and passion as they had the day before, even if things didn't go their way. And that's a great life skill to learn. Baseball has a beautiful way of teaching that to us sometimes, although maybe we don't enjoy it while it's going on. We learn from it. And I love the way they've stayed with it. You know, the greatest achievement for most teams is staying with something to the very end. So many times teams and individuals on teams and people check out right at the end just because they don't have what it takes to finish what they've started. And I love the way these guys have stayed with us to the end and their commitment to seeing this thing through to the very end. Those are important team skills. So I love who they are as people. And I've liked our talent all year long. I said that in the fall, we had good talent, but that's not enough. You got to have character, and you've got to have a strong will to stay together even when times are tough, and these guys have shown that.
Before we let everybody go, though, is there anything else maybe that we missed that is important to you guys, just not what we have the group here that you wanted to say?
Should be great baseball. I think the story is really the balance of the teams in the field and the talent of the players on the field, and I think it should be great baseball, so it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather will allow us to play the games on schedule so people can get out here and enjoy it. And but yeah, our team will be excited to play, and we are honored for sure to be chosen to host this.